Hey there, YouTubers and subscribers! RoseRed17 here, and this is Eden Zero Volume 21, Chapters 177 to 185. And let us pick up where we left off, with a member of the OSI named Holy wanting to join forces with Shiki and his crew. Both him and Rebecca were suspicious about it and willing to refuse. But once Holy summoned the terms of defeating Zeke, she invited him on the rooftop within an hour. Rebecca asked if Lobelia was okay and was happy that Shiki came to her rescue again. After a while, she decided to take her leave, but she stopped after Rebecca suggests that they should talk, but refuses and walks away. And after an hour has passed, Shiki and his crew went up to the rooftop and greeted by Holy with a barbecue. She discussed why she wants to join forces with Shiki as she acknowledged his strength. It gets down to business with Shiki's group along with Hermit and the others listening through Pino as Holy finds out. Her ultimate goal is to take out Zeke, but she is more willing to take down Crow as she has some sort of a grudge against him. Shiki refused to be involved with murder, so Holly changes the subject and she was willing to be okay with his arrest. Holy also told him that Crow had joined forces with Zeke and that Crow is an android and that he's considered to be the most dangerous out of all of them, as he thinks of humans as his toys. Holy agreed to help them defeat Zeke as long as they help her defeat Crow. Shiki will need some time to think about it as Holy is looking forward to his response. Somewhere in the park, a bunch of men get melted away due to Holy's ether gear powers and gives a smile to herself as she was thinking of using Shiki's power for herself. As the crew left the rooftop, they ran into Lobelia once again and wanted to talk to Rebecca before she dies. Boy, way to end the chapter, and yeah, it got me wondering what Lobelia meant by that, but the answer will be revealed in the next chapter. Lobelia and Rebecca talk about her dying, but what she really meant was that her channel is dying, and that she decided to retire and wanted to settle down with Rebecca with a fistfight during her last recording. It turns out that Lobelia knows martial arts and can fight back, but she never let the public know about this because it doesn't match her persona. Rebecca was surprised by this and surrendered immediately, but Lobelia was not having it and wants Rebecca to fight her for real, and so she threatened her by saying she's going to hurt Happy. So Rebecca fights back, and as it continues, Rebecca was complaining to Lobelia of how and why she's always picking on her and her friends. Once Rebecca pinned her down, she asked Lobelia what did she ever do to her, and to a surprising response, Rebecca is the reason why Lobelia has become a beekeeper in the first place. It also turns out that Lobelia has an incurable illness since she was a child, and as a child, she saw Rebecca's video for the first time, and that she wanted to be just like her. But once she became a beekeeper, she became so popular that the fame got to her head. But she was upset that her idol was a lower ranking than her. That is why Lobelia was always being mean to Rebecca. Lobelia didn't know how to open up to her, and that she made herself into Rebecca's worst enemy. And after a long conversation, Lobelia told Rebecca that she doesn't have long to live due to her illness. But Rebecca refused to let her die and hugs her from behind, and allows sister to take a look at her. Meanwhile, Shiki is in contact with Holy and decided to accept her offer, but on one condition, that Holly stays on the board of Eden Zero until the Battle of Ladar is over. And Holly realized that they have her under watch, and Shiki told her that if she refuses, then the deal is off. And with that, Holy accepted it. Holy was welcomed aboard as Hermit shows her around and pointing towards her room, even though Hermit is not too happy about her being on the ship as she doesn't trust her, but willing to follow Shiki's orders. Hermit told Holy that she is free to go anywhere except the main control room. They made their way to the kitchen as the other members are suspicious but welcome her aboard, and that she had background checks on each member to their surprise. Next, they end up in the dress factory room much to Holy's delight, and tries on different outfits and then discuss about her research on everyone on the ship but has no files on Pino. Hermit told her that she is a new generation that was created by Zeke known as an anti-droid bot. Later they end up in a spa and make conversation with Rebecca and the other members. She has also noticed that each and every member came from the different cosmos and that there are 4 altogether known as Ioe, Sakura, Yukino, and Kaede, and together they're given the name the Grand Shiki Cosmos, and Shiki means all 4 seasons. Wait a minute. Didn't the creator name the characters after the seasons? I kinda like that he noticed the knowledge in the manga, and I will discuss about it in the end of this video. Because right now, let us move on to the next panel where Sister is looking after Lobelia and her condition. Sister doesn't know the name of the disease, but she's willing to work on a cure for her. Lobelia was surprised to hear those words as tears falls from her eyes. Sister also remembered that this was the girl who used to bully Rebecca, and Sister was delighted to her because she did the same thing. Poor Rebecca. Meanwhile, Shiki, Connor, and Holly were having a conversation about what to do when they reached Planet Lendar, and Shiki told Holly to tell Elsie to keep Justice away. But Holly refuses since she has no authority to give other members of the OSI any orders. Even if she told Justice to stay out of the way, it would just backfire, as Shiki accepted the terms and moved on with the plan. Holly later talked to Connor about working there before. His job was scanning the knowledge and skills of humans and planted them into androids. As Connor continues, Holly asked him if he ever seen Ziki. He said no, but he did see Crow due to his unawareness. Holly told him that the giant bot that he saw was Crow, the Titan of Eternal Darkness. On the planet Lendar, chaos and destruction is caused by Deadman Crow, who is led by Ziki, and also building upgrades to the Eden's 1 to locate Mother. Meanwhile, on the Eden 0 ship, Lobelia learned that the crew is going to find Mother and becomes completely shocked that Rebecca can use ether gear. Lobelia also apologized to Happy for all of her bullying towards him, and Happy accepted her apology because he learned about her little battle with Rebecca and forgiveness. Moving on into the briefing room, the crew plan a strategy, and after some agreement and disagreements in the plan of action. But Hermit suggests on summoning a corona phase to ram into the planet Lendar to have it eat its planet's time. In order to summon one of those creatures, they need Rebecca's leaping powers. It's hinted that the corona phase attacks the planet that has someone that is going against the stream of time, according to Hermit, and Rebecca believing that she might be the reason why the corona phase attacked those planets. But Happy and Hermit telling her otherwise, and saying that it's not her fault, that it's just a suggestion. But there is a possibility that Rebecca can summon a corona phase with the power of her ether gear, and thus they commit Operation Planet Eater. They put their plan into action in the next chapter, now including Elsie, as she also plans on taking down Ziki. And then introduction to Holly's other crew members have joined them as well. Next shows Rebecca in the mini ships, as Happy knows her expression of pity and guilt, as explained about herself being the reason as to why the corona phase attacked the planets that she previously visited. Happy tried to reason with her by saying it wasn't her fault, and then she agreed with Happy and then realized there's no time for argument and focuses on the mission. Shiki called and telling Rebecca that he will protect her, which puts a smile on her face and ready to begin the operation, as Shiki puts pictures of Witch and Valkyrie onto his ship as he and the others begin the operation. However, during their fight against Ziki's defensive drones, they also run into a pack of dragons that suddenly appear that is defending the planet, and according to Holly, it seems that the dragons were summoned by God Aknella. Next begins with Ziki having a conversation with Aknella and starts to have flashback about young Shiki as his son, but also figures out how to kill him, and Aknella asks why, and Ziki replied that Shiki will destroy the cosmos, which is something that he has mentioned before, and that Shiki is a threat to the universe, but it's still unclear as to why Ziki thinks that. But we'll have to wait and see as we continue with the story. Meanwhile, back with Shiki and the others facing the dragons, as they seem to be outbested by the creatures, but Holly and her crew uses anti-dragon ether cannons to blast most of the dragons away. Hermit was surprised by what she just witnessed, as she does her thing and create the same weapon that Holly just used, and told Shiki and the others to use their ether bullets to damage the dragons. They seem to have worked, but there are still too many dragons to take down, and so Hamura joins the fight, but not within the mini ship battles, but inside a battle armor called the Warrior Maid 95. It took out most of the dragons, allowing a clear path to the planet as they launch their ways towards it and continue with their operation. Shiki's group find their way into the Lendar planet and head towards the core for Rebecca to use her ether gear powers. However, she gets attacked as her ship goes down, rendering her unconscious. Shiki manages managed to save her from the explosion of the ship, and they both landed safely on the surface. Weiss and Hamura landed as well as they get in contact with Shiki and continue on with their mission. Meanwhile, Elsie finds her way into Ziki's base of operation, as it also revealed to be Elsie's home planet, which was her kingdom from long ago, and here we get a little bit more information on her backstory. You know, I've been wondering about what happened to her kingdom and why Elsie did what she did. As explained back in chapter 124, where Justice wanted to sentence her for the crime that she had committed. Here in this chapter, there is more explanation as why she betrayed her kingdom, as Ladar's weaponry became a threat to the cosmos, and that Elsie has been giving out their secrets to others in order for her parents to stop their brutality. But it results to the kingdom to fall to ruins, and Elsie is willing to fight for it even though she no longer has any attachment towards it. Now, here is the chapter, Elsie versus Ziki, as the title is told, and that is what is going to happen. And as they fight each other, Elsie wonders why he wants to kill Shiki after he raised him since he was a baby. He explains to her that the android that took care of Shiki wasn't the real him, and after he lost his memory and found Shiki as an infant, which could be the results of having a change of heart. But Ziki told her that Shiki is a threat to the cosmos, which the viewer has heard before, and so getting annoying, I will admit I was too. But then I realized this is the first time Elsie has heard this information, and Ziki is just answering her question. Meanwhile, Shiki and Rebecca ran to a group of bots, fought most of them off, but then reinforcement comes along to take them down, but Hamura and Weiss helped them out. Weiss told the two about closing the door, and both of them jump out of the way before it closed. Rebecca apologizes to them, but Weiss told her not to worry about it, and then Pino analyzed that the pathway they are on leads to the planet's core. Back to the fight with Ziki and Elsie, they continue their fight, and then Elsie used one of her powerful abilities on him, but it failed as Ziki used a wormhole that he absorbed from Nero. Elsie uses her Star Drain ability and managed to bring Ziki down. As Elsie was about to strike the final blow, Ziki spoke to her as the old Ziki that she knew as a child, which led to her defeat at the end. With a sword through Elsie's stomach, Ziki pushed her to the ground with his gravity powers, and when he was about to finish her off, Justice came to Elsie's rescue to her surprise. Justice claims her as his Corey, and that he should be the one to take Elsie down with his own hands, and that is the only reason why he saved her from Ziki. Are you sure about that, James? You sure you don't have any other attraction towards her? I'll take that as a no. So anyways, after Justice saved Elsie, Ziki contacted Akela and ordered her to follow the two and kill them. But Akela applied to him that he wanted to take down Elsie, but then he lost interest. The Dragon Queen told him that she is not his subordinate, therefore she would not take orders from him. Wait a minute. She is not his subordinate? You're telling me that she's a higher ranking class than Ziki, the Demon King? Was this hinted at before in the earlier chapters and I missed it? Or is this the first time this little detail was mentioned? So there's somebody who's more powerful than the Demon King himself? What a twist. So anyway, Ziki, knowing his position in the ranking, considered it as a request and an order, as Akela accepted those terms and agreed to help him. But if he betrays her, then her dragons will devour all of his robot minions, showing him who is the real boss around here. On to the next scene, showing Herman and Sister flying the EC ship over the city until they ran into Dead End Crow, who is, as told before, bigger than any ship in the cosmos, and to everyone's shocking expression, and needs to figure out how to take him down. Holly, however, gave off a different kind of expression. But moving on to where Shiki and the others are, Hamura decided to change her outfit as she felt uncomfortable fighting in her space uniform, and asked Weiss for her original outfit back, as did Shiki. They both got what they wanted, but as for Rebecca... Mom! Vashon's up to his dirty Fancer's tropes again! You know what? I don't even care anymore. I've seen this happen so many times to the point where I just brush it off and move on. So after that sexual harassing and humiliation, Weiss gave Rebecca normal clothes as they move on to the next path and ended up in Old Coliseum. And there, waiting for them are the 4 dark shining stars ready to face them in their next battle. Now that it's the end of the volume, I did say I was going to talk about what I was going to say back in chapter 197. As foretold, I am a little confused at how the cosmos were named because they also represent the 4 seasons. I thought Haru and Natsu meant spring and summer in the Japanese language. How does Sakura and Aioi represent spring and summer unless it's in a different language? I had to look this up while writing the script. I used Google Translate and type in all 4 words and it turns out to the true meaning. For example, when I translated Sakura from the Japanese to English, I got cherry blossom, which are the trees that only blossom during the spring. As for the rest, it's Iowa is blue, which is the blue in the summertime. Yukino is snow, which is winter. But the last one was a bit confusing because it doesn't. Hey there, YouTubers and subscribers. It's RoseRed17 here from the future, and I just want to clarify that Kaede means maple. And the reason I didn't bring this up earlier is because in the Google Translate, when I typed in Kaede by itself, I just got Kaede. However, during the edits of this video, when I typed in all 4 seasons including Kaede, it gave me maple. So I just want to clarify and it no longer confuses me. Back to the past of my video. Have any elemental meanings to fall, which got me realize that each name isn't the meaning of the seasons themselves, but the elements of the season. Like you only get snow in the winter and blue in the blue sky in summer. That is what it all meant. Well done, creator, you got me thinking about the names of the main character. Now for my thoughts on this volume. I liked it. It got a lot of moments that I enjoyed, and we might get closer to the secret of Zeki's true identity. Well then everyone, thank you so much for watching, and if you are new here, you can subscribe to this channel, and you can also hit that notification button for more updates on my newest videos. And don't forget, you can check me out on Twitter, TikTok, and Discord, and I'll see you all in the next video. RoseRed17 out.